Hi, today I've invited Lucas to talk to us about the webinar that is going to conduct on the 4th of May. And it is a very interesting subject, as he is about to explain to us. Hello, Lucas. How are you, my friend?
Hi, Roland. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, this is going to be a very strong transit, the transit of Jupiter in the sign of Cancer. Jupiter is said to be quite ferociously powerful in that sign, and so we will have a look to why it is said so. We will dig into the mechanics of the transit, the mechanism of how Jupiter is going to act during a whole year, because actually this will start in June 2025 and it's going to last until June 2026. So it's 12 months of a very important and influential transit. So we will cut the presentation in different parts. In the first part, we will have a look to what Jupiter has to teach us. Indeed, Jupiter is the celestial teacher. What he does is always meant to bring some wisdom. So we'll try to unravel Jupiter's wisdom in Cancer. We will then have a look to the travel of Jupiter through the whole sign, right? He will go through the sign, he will stop, he's going to take on the retrograde motion, he will meet with several planets during its journey through Cancer. So we will cover that in order to have some kind of chronology that we can follow to get in touch with those energies, to start to resonate as much as possible with these energies. With that, we will be able to practically take advantage of this very important transit.
And you will most probably explain how each sign of the zodiac is going to be impacted by this transit of Jupiter in Cancer.
Because indeed, depending on where your birth sun is placed, you will receive this energy of Jupiter in a different way. So when you receive it through a harmony, or if you receive it through a hard aspect, or even some kind of ambiguous aspect, like the inconjunct, for instance, this is going to be a very different feeling. Even though Jupiter always remains the same, Jupiter is Jupiter, how you are going to see Jupiter's effect is going to change dramatically the way you have to adapt to that. So we will cover that in the second part of the presentation so that everyone has practical keys on how to handle that very strong energy, because it is very strong for sure.
And also, I guess, because the moon, as you know, is the lord or the ruler of the sign Cancer, it most probably will be impacted also by the transit of Jupiter in Cancer, making it perhaps more powerful during the transits around the zodiac. And the moon is going to turn 12 times around the zodiac, while Jupiter is in Cancer. So there will most probably be some very, very important and interesting interactions and configurations that will form in any chart, but globally within the zodiac itself.
Yes, this relates to the planetary rulership, as the moon rules Cancer, and that Jupiter will be placed in Cancer. It will give very strong dignity, so to say, to the moon. She will receive the, let's say, influence of Jupiter. She will have more strength for a while. And so all the lunations, the new moons, and all the lunar phases are going to benefit from this strength, especially when the moons or lunations will be in a very tight aspect with Jupiter in Cancer. There, we can expect some very strong events and some, situation that history will remember.
And of course, when there is a new moon or a full moon in Cancer during this period, when Jupiter transits in this sign, they will most probably have much more importance and much more influence on us, emotionally and otherwise.
Especially with the different aspects that will be present at that time. There is a very strong conjunction between Saturn and Neptune going on in this period. So I think that the convergence of all those strong energies is likely to create something important.
And that will impact as well democracy, which is represented by Cancer, a fluctuating sign due to the fact that it is linked to the moon. Opposite Capricorn, which is much more stable, so it represents, the sort of rulership and government that have a kind of autocratic power over the people. And most probably, while Jupiter transits in Cancer, the energy of democracy against what it considers being dictatorship, for example, will become much stronger, much more vehement, and most probably much more troubling for the world in some ways or other.
I couldn't agree more, because Jupiter is also related to rules, to laws, to all that is administrative, to all the connections between countries. So this, to which we can add the very tight and strong aspects that are going to be done by Saturn, who rules the sign that is opposite to Cancer, and Neptune being there as well. I think we are going to see quite involved situations, but also definitely fascinating situations.
Yes, that's for sure, and most probably also weather-wise, because Cancer is a water sign that perhaps Jupiter is going to produce much more precipitations and, floods in some areas and even tsunamis and storms and so on. The water element is going to be increased and emphasized sometimes to extremes during this transit of Jupiter, which will, of course, be linked to other transits with which it will create interesting configurations.
Unfortunately, something that can be feared indeed, because this very important configurations are powerful, and there is a lot of water in the sign of Cancer. There is also some energy like that within Jupiter's nature, and Neptune, that is also very much related to water, to the clouds as well. So blown by the energy of Jupiter, it can take immense proportions. And the fire of Aries, led by Mars, that is always very quick going through the zodiac and that ignites those configurations, it might as well be a very historic year in terms of nature's manifestations.
Very interesting. Scary, a little, I must say, but interesting, that's for sure. So on the 4th of May, from 2 p.m., which is, universal time, of course, the webinar will begin. And it will last for about 2 hours, most probably a bit more.
The replay is going to be available. So for each registration to the webinar, the replay is included. So if you can be there on the 4th of May, you will receive the replay that is going to be available and active for a full year until the end of the transit of Jupiter in Cancer.
Unfortunately, some people won't be able to enroll in this webinar for many reasons. Will they be able to reach out to you and perhaps get the replay for themselves?
It definitely will. So simply reach out to us through the website and you will find a link to get access to the replay, even if it's month after it has been given.
You will find the link to enroll in this webinar under this video. And if you want to reach out to Lucas, you can visit his website on www.ablas.ch. Thank you very much, Lucas, and I look forward to watching and listening to what you have to say about this very important transit of Jupiter in Cancer. Bye for now. All the best.
Thank you very much, Roland. I'm looking forward to this webinar. See you very soon.